Hello, my fellow hula hoops, and welcome back. Have I already used hula hoops? Ah, screw it, you're not paying attention anyway. Today we will be discussing the Doctor's age. Ooh boy. Now, I'm not the first person to tackle the Doctor's age, and I won't be the last. Everyone has had a say in this, and probably most people have come to the same conclusion that I have. He has no idea. He makes it up. That's probably the simplest solution. Because let's face it, he's a time traveler, and how do you measure your age when you're constantly going backwards and forwards in time? And if he does measure his own age, why would he use our years? I mean, a year depends how long a planet takes to revolve around a sun. If it ever does revolve around the sun. I mean, why would the Doctor use... he's fond of Earth, but would he really use our aging system? My thoughts are that he basically knows humans are obsessed with age, and he wants to get across that he's pretty dang old. But he doesn't really know the age himself, so he just goes, I'm 700, I'm 900, I'm 12,000 now because I feel I've been alive that long. And to make things even more complicated, it's not just his body that's aging, it's his mind. I mean, his body's rejuvenating all the time. So we can take the body age out of it completely, it's just his mind age. If that makes any sense. Now, this is not strictly canon, it's from the Big Finish audios, but in the 10th Doctor's adventure, The Time Reaver, the Doctor is actually shot with a gun that slows down time for you, but everything else moves at the same space, so for him, 10 minutes have passed. No, sorry. What? For us, 10 minutes have passed. But for him, 700 years or something have passed. I mean, I can't remember the exact amount of years, but in his mind, that's how long has passed. Now, if that's how long has passed in his mind, that means his mind has aged that much. I mean, it seems pretty close case to me. So does that mean that the Doctor is an extra 700 years older than we initially thought? Personally, I say yes. The mind is what's important, let's face it. These things here are just the things to carry us around in. This is us up here. And so that's the Doctor. This doesn't matter, that does. Simple as. But that's not canon, that's a Big Finish audio. They're not really technically part of the real world. You can pretend they are, you can make them yourself, you can include what you want into the actual canon of the story. Personally, I like to include quite a lot because the Big Finish audios are amazing. But a lot of people probably wouldn't include it, which is fine. Okay, we'll ignore that one. Let's get into the big boys now. How old is the Doctor right now? Well, he doesn't exist, but I mean Peter Capaldi's Doctor, right before the new Christmas episode with the superhero one. That age of that Doctor. Now, he says he's over 2,000 years old, which makes sense to his lie, if that makes sense. He was 12,000 years old with Matt Smith, but then Matt Smith spent 800 years, I think it was, on Trenzalore. So the Doctor would have aged 800 years, and then become over 2,000 years old when Peter Capaldi came along. Simple Jimples. Simple Jimples? Now, if you stopped watching after Matt Smith, I suggest watching Peter Capaldi's series. If you really don't want to, there's one particular episode you have to watch, but let me warn you, you pretty much have to watch. It's going to spoil the rest of the series for you if you ever plan to watch it, so you are missing out if you have not seen Heaven Sent. Let me tell you now. Now, in this episode, the Doctor... I'll do the condensed version, because most of you probably know what happens, but The Doctor clones himself in a way. It's to do with teleportation. So the teleportation device copies the Doctor over and over again so he can punch himself out of the through the wall. Trust me, it's more awesome than I'm making it sound. Now, he does this for, I believe it was over 4 billion? I want to say 4.5 billion. I remember the lady said it. I should really look up the episodes before I do these things, but going off memory, that's the exact date, isn't it? It's in the billions. Definitely 4 billion and something. That's how long he spent punching his way through that wall. Now, since the body was always reset, the body hasn't aged at all, so which means the Doctor would still technically be 2,000 years old at the end of all that. However, his mind would be over 2 billion. 2 billion? 4 billion. Bloomin' numbers. It would be over 4 billion years old. Probably 4.5 billion and 2,000 years or something like that. Now, as I said, I think that what really tells your age is your mind. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Doctor at this point is 4.5 billion years old. Give or take a billion. But it could be the case like with Rory, how he only sometimes remembered being a Centurion for 2,000 years. So maybe he kind of blocks it off sometimes, he doesn't always remember, but dang, that's a long ass time to be punching a wall, let me tell you that much. Ow. Now you think this would have a horrible effect on his psyche, and maybe it has, but last we saw him, he wasn't too distraught by it, so I think he does hide it a little bit. But I think it's quite funny now, and I hope they do this in the next episode. This is why I'm putting this out before the Christmas one. I was going to do it afterwards, but just in case this line comes out, someone comes up to the Doctor and says, "How old are you?" And the Doctor responds with, between 2,000 and 4.5 billion years old. I mean, that's just a Doctor thing to say, between 2,000 and 4.5 billion. To him, that's just normal. He's between that age somewhere. Bit hard to tell with him, really. You can have that one for free, Moffat. Or Chibnall. Whoever's writing the bloody thing now, whatever. So, how old is the Doctor exactly? Well, I've done some mathematization, and his exact age, including the bit with his mind being jimmied in the booba, those are technical terms. If you don't understand them, you're just not smart enough. The Doctor's exact age is 4,561,251,752 years old. And 15 days. You didn't know, you just missed his birthday. I mean, shame on you, quite frankly. I really hope he starts telling people that's how old he is when people ask him. I mean, they get freaked out enough when he says 900 or 2,000, and now he says, like, I'm 4.5 billion years old. Yeah, no biggie, you know. That's gonna be amazing. There we have it. Conclusive evidence and proof, undeniable fact of how old the Doctor is. That's the kind of content you came here for, folks, I can tell. Remember to subby thummy, you a dummy. And until next time, meh. Time to get ready for Christmas!